Hey everyone, welcome to a quick behind the scenes video. I did hope for this to be further along than it is today, but I got distracted with a few things, hang out with a bunch of people, but it was cool to have so many people test it, so thank you so much to those. I'll leave listed in the description of the people that tested it, but first of all, let's show what it is. So I'm going to hover into Smooth POV here, and I'm going to show what we got going. So I've come up with a way, it's kind of hacky, but it does work, of enabling dancing based on animations in Nia. So if I go inside this cube here, which is an avatar anchor, and I get that way in because I need to configure the camera more appropriately. Maybe that'll do it. Yes, there you go. So I'm now dancing. This is a flamenco dance, and you can see that everything's moving. This is based on an animation file, and it is being applied to an invisible armature that is in the world. And then on each part of the armature, there is a avatar anchor box constraint for most of the bones in the body. And so here you can see I'm sort of dancing. There are like rotation anomalies, and there is also some sort of like alignment issues. I believe the orientation of the animation is wrong, which is what's causing the arms to swap and the knees to be all sorts of weird and wonderful sort of twisted orientations. But it works with any avatar, so I've just jumped out of this, and you can see I'm in my usual avatar. If I go into Neos Essentials avatars here, and let's go for... good. The Neo spot here. Second. Come on, Neo spot. Oh, there we go. Alright, so now I'm the Neo spot, and if we go back into this, we'll see I'm now dancing as the Neo spot. Visemes, etc. still work because we don't drive that, we're just driving bone locations, and not all of them as well. I can still rotate my hands a little bit. I will be locking some more of the things to align to the dancing. This is actually a flamenco dance. More on the dancing later and where it's from, because I'm very grateful for the resource I found that has them. I'll show one more avatar. So yeah, it's one of the Avalis. And again, here you'll see it works. It's like 50% there, I would say. You know, stuff works. It's just a bit sort of confusing right now. But once we get things fixed up, it'll be good. I'm going to talk about how this works now. So I'm going to hop over into the Smooth POV and hop back into an avatar that I'm able to use tools in. I'm just too used to my tools being inside my face. Words you don't think you'd be saying. Oh, the one thing I forgot to show as well, but I'll talk about it as we talk about how it works, is that you can select a dance. I only have 3 dances right now. One of them doesn't work, but I'm hoping to sort of reconfigure the system to have unlimited dances. So the answer about how this works is that, like I said, there is an, up in the hierarchy a bit. This inspector's broken. We'll grab another one. Let's inspect this. Behind the scenes videos are usually rough. So here's the anchor. And you'll see there's an avatar anchor here. I do have an avatar anchor tutorial where I talk over a chair. This is obviously a much more complicated setup. We have pose filters for like every bone. So hip, spine, chest, upper chest, neck, head, left shoulder, left upper arm. All of the bones. That needs removing. This took quite a long time to do. And then what that does is it's referring to AvatarPoseBoxConstraints, which are on these bones. And you can see that they are still moving, even though I'm not in the anchor. And that's because they are in a normal conventional rig with an animator. So here's the animator with all of the bones, and it's playing the flamenco dance here. There's just no visual for this rig. It's just a collection of slots. That's how armatures work in Neos. As there is no mesh, there's no mesh renderer here either. It's just an animator. There's also no IK because it isn't needed, and that would have caused problems. So it's it's just moving around these points in space really. So if we go here, we select the right leg. You'll see that the right leg moves. Here's the right foot. And we can go all the way up the spine. There was quite a few spine bones that aren't really needed. I'm thinking about that. These files are traditional animation capture, so they have a lot more points than usual avatar in Neos might have. But it's fine, because what I basically do is I ignore some of the intermediary spine bones, and then I align sort of every other spine bone to an available spine bone within the avatar system. Then beneath that, there are 3 dances here, as I said, and these are just, currently they're just multiplexed in this world. So you can enter the dance ID here if you like, and there are 3. So if I go down to dance 1, it immediately changes. The previous dance was a flamenco dance. This is capoeira. I'm going to pronounce that wrong. I apologize. It's a traditional dance of I forget which country. I'll put it in the description. I chose it because I recognized the style as one that had a lot of range of motion. Most dances do have a lot of range of motion, but as you can see, this one involves actual flips and a lot of sort of wide sweeping motion, and it's really testing out the rotational problems that I've got with the current system. So, when this looks fine and, where my head is and where my shoulders are all make sense, we'll know that we're good. And then the last dance is one that doesn't work. And trying to figure out why that doesn't work is actually the main cause of the problem right now. So if I go in this one, you'll see I'm now just in a crumpled lump on the floor. So there you go. Now on to sort of where these files come from. So these are BVH files, which is like a standard motion capture format, and they're processed through Blender into an FBX style. The files are sourced from a website called DanceDB, which is part of the University of Cyprus. Again, things I didn't think I'd be saying today, but I just happened to find it. I was looking for dance animations in sort of motion capture format, and I found this database, and it's amazing. There's like 300 or so performances from a huge variety of different cultures and types of dance that are available. And they're all freely downloadable. They're very permissively licensed. I will link them in the description along with the text that they've requested. Along with the motion capture files, they include FBX files. I couldn't get those to work in Neos. I needed to post-process the BVH files through Blender using a workflow. I'll see if I can get the FBX files working or some other method of doing it. But they also had an MP4 file or an AVI file, which is like the original dancer doing the dance in the motion capture suit, just like an actual camera footage of them doing it. That was super cool to see because it put a sort of name and a face to the dancer that was doing the dance. All these files have got the dancer's name on them, but seeing their face was also quite rewarding because particularly some of these complex dances, they're very difficult. So it was good to see talented people doing that. Like I said, there's 300 files. They're all kind of random in that they're not to any particular melodies, so you wouldn't be able to sort of load up a popular song that's in the charts right now and then find a matching dance file, but you will be able to find things like belly dancing, capoeira, as we just saw, flamenco. There's some traditional I'm going to forget the proper terminology, but dances from the area that Cyprus is in, sort of Greek and Cypriot. I'm not going to pronounce that right, I apologize, but with those you get sort of a wide range of sort of what dance is going to be. So this is just a start. Like I said, it's really hacked together. It could do with some improvements both on my process of how I get the files through from DanceDB into Neos, and how I'm setting them up here in Neos with logics and components. You can see I've got all sorts of stuff on my tool shelf. It's been a fun evening of fixing this up. I could also deal with more files. So if you know of any locations where I can get FBX animation files, please do let me know. I have a lot of sort of game files, like FPSs and stuff. There's also Mixamo, which has a lot of sort of additional random animations. Where are we? So for example, here we've got, this is like just a game selector. This is meant to be sort of the beginnings of an NPC system that I'm not working on right now, but it shows the other sort of animation files I have access to. So we have a jump here, we have a backflip, and we have a walk. But we still don't have what I'm really after, which is the sort of files from the VRChat MD dancing worlds. I know those are kind of complicated, and I'm not sure what the licensing on those are, and I always want to be like license appropriate, so I'll have to take a look. But what we get with those is we get complete songs, you know, start to finish on the song as an animation. And if I could hook that up to the system, and then hook up the actual audio file, maybe some visual effects as well, you can even get lip syncing going. We can reassign the audio source of the Visemes temporarily. We can do that using a few hacks that are to do with the tin can telephone and the way that works. And, you know, putting everything together there, once we get everything working and aligned and rotated correctly, we should have, you know, a couple of songs that will just work exactly how they might do in VRChat. I'm not going to, you know, intentionally create one of those worlds where, you know, there's pages and pages of songs. I just want like a few working, just as kind of like play with the system. Once I have the system working, I'll produce a tutorial on how to get it sorted and how to make the best of it, and the best practices, etc. And then you can try it out. This is all before as well, before the Neos team work on a better animation system. The moment that comes along, no pressure on the team here, but the moment that comes along, this system will be kind of defunct. But I just wanted to try it out, and sometimes you just do science experiments inside Neos to figure out what you can do. And I went from a chair to doing crazy dancing tonight, and I think that's quite successful. So I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes video. I will see you next time. Let me know if you have any questions by dropping a comment below, and I will catch you next time.